All right. So now we're on the Anoka Ramsey portion, that the stuff that's actually, the college hands out. And this is pertinent information to you as well. This is what you will be receiving if you complete this class successfully. You'll get 4 college credits at Anoka Ramsey. Um, that is a decent size. That's a pretty big class, college level class. Um, 4 credits. Now, the big thing to recognize too is that they are going to be people at Anoka Ramsey, the students actually at Coon Rapids or Cambridge. They are only going for 1 semester. Okay, it might be spring or fall semester. You might have noticed when we talked about it earlier that we go through a spring and fall semester. Does that mean you get 8 credits? No, it means that we go at a much slower pace than a college would, and there's less homework involved because you guys are involved in other classes as well and are doing a lot of different things at once. Okay, the expectations are a little bit lower in that regard. So, what does that mean? It means that you're getting 4 credits to do a year-long class. That's a pretty big deal because you're moving more slowly. So I guess the equivalent would be that when students at Anoka Ramsey take their final at the end of 1 semester, that would be equivalent to a midterm for you guys. Okay. Their grading scale is a little bit different. So if you look here, an A is considered 90 to 100%. A B is 80 to 89%. What you might be recognizing is that this is whole letter grading. There are no minuses or pluses. So what does that mean? You are going to get 2 grades, one that goes to the college and one that goes on your Mounds View High School transcript. Let's say you got a 92%. Okay. And your Mounds View transcript, you would get an A minus. On the Anoka Ramsey transcript, your college transcript, you would get an A because it's whole letter grading. Now, that seems like, I wish we always had Anoka Ramsey Community College grading. That's fine. Put it in this regard. If you have an 87%, that's a B plus at Mounds View and a B at Anoka Ramsey. So you can see that, sometimes it can play to your advantage, sometimes it won't. But Anoka Ramsey does whole letter grading, and that's just how they do it. Their learner outcomes are here. There are 4 main big ones. You can look through that if you want to. We're going to be talking about that throughout the year, and their essential outcomes, just kind of the same idea of what's just what we're going to be going through. There is another link to the ARC Biology website. Adding, dropping, withdrawing. This is important. Okay. Adding a course is just, adding that to your schedule. Adding, you've all done that because you're in the class. Dropping is you just get to drop the class. You're not going to be doing that anymore. Okay. Why am I talking about adding and dropping classes? Well, if you just think that this college course isn't for you, you can drop that at any time in the first 5 business days. Okay. First 5 days of class. That, and there's no penalties if you drop it, So I think that 5th business day is September 13th this year. If you drop it September 11th, September 12th, September 10th, nothing happens. You're fine. It doesn't go in your transcript, nothing. After the 5th business day, so you can see this is kind of quick if you don't just make a decision right away. After the 5th business day, if you decide to drop it, it's no longer considered a drop. It's considered a withdraw. Okay. What is a withdraw? Well, it just means that you are no longer taking that class. You dropped it maybe on the 7th or 8th or 30th day. Okay. A withdraw, it goes on as a W on your college transcript. That isn't necessarily huge. You can always take a biology course and the W gets replaced when you're actually in college. However, though, it does have some a bearing on financial aid when you go to college if you have too many W's. If you're scared about that, I would talk to a dean to make sure that you are, or myself too, to make sure that you are clear on withdrawing and that it can have some effect on financial aid in the future if you have too many W's. Most of the time, it's just fine. When can you withdraw? You can withdraw through 80% of the semester. So you could actually withdraw up until like April. I wouldn't recommend that, but you can. After 80% of the semester, it is most likely going to go, it does go on you can't withdraw anymore, and it will go on your college transcript. And odds are, if you're trying to withdraw that late in the semester, it's probably going to be an F. All right. Accommodations for students with special needs. If you have questions considering this, there is a link, and you're supposed to contact Ann Bettenberg, Director of Student Services, and I include the phone number right there. This could have changed. I haven't kept up with with the faculty at Anoka Ramsey in terms of student services. So as of 2015, this was the Student Services Director, I believe. Anyway, so also, if you have questions concerning students with special needs, and I would contact the dean and make sure everything's okay. All right. Team contract, basically attendance. Show up on time. Show up. It's an expectation. We need you guys here to be able to learn. Materials list, if you want to go through the materials list, but basically bring notebook, something to write on, a pencil, and folders. I'm not going to allow backpacks in class. As you probably noticed, there is not a lot of space. So when we start, the backpacks won't be allowed in class. Food and drink. We're going to be working with Chromebooks a lot. So I'm not going to have, pops and sugary drinks everywhere. Now, if you need to have like a water and a snack, that's fine. Just make sure it ends up in the garbage. If it can't do that, I will revoke that privilege. Phone policy. As of right now, the phone policy is there are no cell phones in this class. I've tried to give that privilege in the past, and it somehow continually is abused. So there are not going to be cell phones in this class. If I see it, I'll have to take it away. More on that later. Work ethic and kind of the golden rule. Just be respectful. Be respectful to you, yourself, others, myself, and just generally be a good person. All right. Consequences. Know that if you make poor decisions, there are going to be consequences. And I kind of work my way up the hierarchy. I'll start with warnings if I have to. I'll call parents. We'll work our way up to administrative intervention, and so on and so forth. Hopefully that won't be a problem, but we'll go down that road if we need to. Dissection and general lab protocol. I'll explain safety and general lab protocol before the lab, so you can scroll through that at your own time. And then how to be successful. I think this is a good list. Again, you can read through this. Some bullet points I think that are really important is to use each other, use study guides, read the book before, especially I think when things aren't making sense. So you're not so intimidated by that big word that I just said in class. You're not hearing it for the first time. Have fun, okay? High school isn't all about chasing that A grade. It's also about having a little bit of fun too. Okay. I challenge you to not chase the A grade and stress yourself out to the point of exhaustion. I want you guys to be vulnerable to the idea of learning science at a pace you're comfortable with. And you know what? It's great if you do well. It's also great if it's going to be a lot more rewarding if you enjoy and try to have fun in this class experience. I like to have fun with bio, and I think life's too short not to. All right, so we can talk more about that. I've included a link to the parent letter that you're going to turn in on Friday or by Friday. But I believe that wraps up the syllabus portions. Again, if you have any questions with the syllabus or concerning it or concerns, comments, I am more than willing to hear you out. Bring those in and we can talk about them. All right. Otherwise, that should wrap it up.